Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I'm going to be bringing you a replay in Napoleon Total War. This is going to be a 1 versus 1 battle fought on the Italian grasslands map, and my opponent is Sinque Warriors. I'm going to assume, might not have pronounced that right, but there he is. I believe I am using Denmark or Sweden. I actually can't remember. Denmark, and my opponent might be using Sweden, or he's using the United Provinces there, but we'll figure that out in a second. Obviously, I have not played this game in a while, quite a while actually, so some of the mechanics were a little bit weird to me. Simple things like when you order units forward in Rome and everything, the newer games, they automatically run. Those kind of things messing me up every now and then. So you guys will definitely see that I was a little bit rusty in this battle. I make some mistakes that should not have been made. But anyways, my army up front, I've got 5 sharpshooters. And these are the most cost-effective skirmishers that Denmark has to offer. This battle was kind of nice because it was 2 of the minor factions in the game rather than the powerhouses like France and Great Britain. And then I've got 5 line infantry units there, backed up by 4 lifeguards of foot. And I've got those 2 spread out on either flank to support wherever they are needed. Then I've got obviously a general staff, and on either flank 1 lifeguard of horse. These are really good cavalry units, but they're expensive, so I only have 2 cavalry, which in this game isn't really that big of a deal. Infantry can hold its own very well against cavalry as long as you get them into square formation. Now my opponent, on the other hand here, playing as United Netherlands, that's what it was, he has a very extensive army, and that's simply because the Netherlands, I don't believe they actually have access to elite infantry like guard units, so he has a lot of funds to just bring tons and tons of troops. He's got some Nazi Jaegers here, Dutch flankers, I guess I can't pronounce any of this stuff, but there's a skirmishing. He's got, I believe, 4 of these carabiner units. 2 more there, 1 there, and yep, 4 for his cavalry, so he's definitely got a much stronger cavalry contingent than I do. And then he's got a ton of line infantry. I'm not going to try to count it. Upwards of 9, maybe about 9. So yeah, he's brought a ton of troops to the field. Now I have better troops. My line infantry is equal in stats to his line infantry, but I do have the 4 guard units, which are much better. So that is the one area where I am stronger. So as you can see on this map here, he's actually going to get off the first shot here, but most of that is going into the hillside. You can see he can't actually see my troops, so I'm going to keep pressing forward. My guys are going to start returning fire, these sharpshooters, and right here he's charging with a carabiner unit into some of my sharpshooters. I'm trying to draw them behind my line infantry here, who I've got into square, and that is going to catch these carabiners. These guys are a very heavy cavalry unit though, and he's going to try to drag them through here. They are going to start taking losses. Plus, I'm going to turn this lifeguard of foot, which is going to start pouring some fire into them. And they are going to go ahead and start dropping. But either way, he did deal some damage to my troops. Actually killed a decent amount of those line infantry pulling through, and a decent amount of the sharpshooters. Not necessarily worth it, but it did catch me off guard there. I let my infantry get a little bit too far forward, and that's really all my mistakes are during this battle. I would recognize a cavalry unit. I'll show you later. He's going to have a cavalry unit coming in through here. I will clearly recognize it. Obviously you guys can't see that now because you're not seeing it live, but I would register that it's there, say, okay, yeah, it's going to charge this, I have time. I'd go over here and do something, and then forget to turn those guys into square formation. So basically dealing with cavalry was the one thing that I really kind of messed up in this battle. So I've got these 2 lifeguards of foot here, and this whole part of my army is trying not to engage. We're just holding against if these troops push forward. Meanwhile, on this front, I'm going ahead and pressing my attack. So my sharpshooter units here, they are getting absolutely shredded. They're being shot at by line infantry and these Nazi Jaegers here. This unit actually, because of the trees, gets up pretty close, and they're going to be able to return fire for a moment. But the main goal here was to screen for my infantry, which is moving forward. He's got 3 line infantry here. I'm bringing up 4, one of which is a lifeguard of foot right there, and I've got another lifeguard of foot in reserve in the back. Plus I've got these sharpshooters up on this flank of this hill firing down. So I'm really going to try to punch through this line here, and here you can see my lifeguard of horse unit charging forward. I am taking some fire from my own men here, but I'm just going to charge through this unit of line infantry, and that charge was actually very effective. Not only has it stopped them from shooting, they're actually going to go ahead and rout because they did not manage to get into square formation. Then I'm taking my cavalry over and hitting these Nasu Jaegers. Now I'm not going to be able to do that much to this unit. My opponent is going to respond with his carabiners, and his men will easily wrap up my lifeguards of horse. He's a very good cavalry unit, and he's got 2 of them bearing down there. So with that unit falling away, I am starting to wrap around this flank. My opponent's doing the appropriate move here and falling back a little bit, but you can see his line infantry definitely has taken some losses. They've gotten the worst of this fight so far. You can see all my units still pretty much intact here. So that aggressive attack worked out well. His volleys were not wasted, but used on my sharpshooters, which I did lose. But my main infantry was able to come up and deliver a pounding into his men. And here you can see we're going to start firing once again. And lifeguard of foot coming over, and this is another area where I made a mistake. These carabiners coming in, and I completely missed that they're charging me. What I do is, you can see I shift these lifeguards to start firing at those carabiners, but luckily for me, his infantry here was already so worn out, and they're suffering the flanking fire from my sharpshooters up on the hill. That's not something he wants to deal with, that it actually is going to take those guys down. But now he's pouring in another cavalry unit here, and my lifeguards are actually going to be able to shoot these guys down. I do lose that 1 line infantry unit though. So those are the areas where I'm really making the mistakes this battle, dealing with the cavalry, and now he's bringing up more infantry here. Again, I've still got 3 strong units of infantry, but he's bringing in a fresh one. This unit's pretty depleted though. Now meanwhile here, again, I saw this cavalry coming, and I did not deal with it in time. You can see my infantry pressing forward over here. This poor line infantry unit's going to get shredded. But his cavalry, again, doing damage to my line infantry in the center. And this is bad for me because I need to hold this hill while I'm making progress over there. He has more infantry, and really he should be engaging me all at once with it. That would be his advantage. He does rout that 1 line infantry unit there. I managed to get these guys into square though, and that's going to be the end of this carabiner unit. Of course, he is still pressing with his line infantry on the hill there as well, and I've got lifeguards of foot coming around to shoot behind them. But now he's pressing up on their flank with more troops coming through these trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these guys. Right now I was putting them into square in case these carabiners came. But they're going to head back that way. I'm going to end up running these lifeguards of foot up here, right through this gap right here, just to help support them. And this lifeguard of foot I'm going to bring back up and fill in the hole left by that line infantry unit there. And there goes one of my lifeguard of horse units into his line infantry. Once again, just buying time, pulling my men out. You can see my lifeguards of foot coming up, and this was another instance where I forgot to have them run. Walking here is hurting me. You can see they're taking losses from flanking fire from behind. Meanwhile, though, over this way, I've plugged my gaps and reestablished my lines. His one unit of line infantry did some damage, but they're being forced to pull back here. And they don't stand a chance against my strength to the front here. I've got this one lifeguard afoot. Preparing to fire at these carabiners. Of course, this little hillside there is blocking it. So again, the main fight right now being on this hillside. This unit of line infantry, I've now re-established my lines here as well, and they're going to start taking fire from either side. And these are lifeguard of foot units, so they are going to have a hard time beating my troops here. See them, my guys are lining up now. They're starting to take fire again, some of them dropping. And there they go, they're going to rout. This unit of line infantry being pretty ineffective, shooting right into the hill there. Of course, my men are returning fire now, which isn't helping that much. I think I might end up pulling these guys back a little bit, and he is going to withdraw his line infantry there too. So again, pushed up with my troops here. We're going to rout this unit of skirmishers. Behind them is another line infantry unit. My opponent keeps withdrawing his troops, which is the best thing he can attempt to do here. I tried to do a melee charge down this hillside with one of my lifeguard units into these skirmishers, because that would be a quick fight, much quicker than dealing with them in an actual shootout. But I didn't pursue that because I did not want to start taking fire from this line infantry unit, even though it is depleted. So I'm pulling back my lifeguards afoot, and they're going to get some flanking fire into this line infantry, which is fighting off two of my troops from the front. You can see here the men firing. Meanwhile, back here, I believe I'm about to make another mistake with the cavalry. Yep, here they come again. So this, like I said, was the one thing that I really just forgot to start watching out for. So as I play some more Napoleon here, hopefully I will remember that square formation is a thing that needs to happen. Thankfully for me this time, my unit is going to hold out, and my line infantry and lifeguards are going to shoot down those cavalry before my unit's completely destroyed there. But anyways, this battle is kind of winding down here. It's actually a decent bit closer than I thought. Had I managed to stop those cavalry charges, I would have still had 2 to 3 more line infantry units at pretty much full strength had I put my men into square formation. So like I said, those mistakes were actually decently costly for me. Because if I had 2 to 3 more full units of line infantry here, I would not be doubting victory at all in this battle. And right now I'm in a pretty good position. My opponent's still got some strength back here. I've killed his general though. I just killed his general who charged right here. But it is still definitely up for debate. If he plays it right, he can win. What is not helping him is that I still have all of my lifeguards though. And a little bit of sharpshooters. So you can see where I'm redrawing my lines here. He's still got a unit of Nasu Jaegers here. There's some of the routing men. But yeah, this fight on this hillside was pretty key in just holding my flank. Had he been able to come down across this hillside, that could have been the end of it for me. But my men managed to push through here decently well. You can see all the bodies from that as we progress across the field. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to push everywhere at once. I don't want to push up right here quite as much because of those Nasu Jaegers there. Where I'm set up now, I am getting flanking fire into his units in the trees here. And I'm going to shuffle this lifeguard afoot over because I don't expect this unit to last much longer. You can see them firing there. My poor men being shot down. Of course, his men are dealing with the exact same situation, and once again he's going to withdraw into the trees where he can hopefully get more of his men moving up. Meanwhile, I've angled back the left flank of my line because he is moving troops, these line infantry here, up onto this hill, which is a good idea. High ground's good. and getting some flanking on me. Of course, I could have stayed on that hill, but considering right now he actually still does have the stronger skirmishing, it puts me in the position where I have to continue attacking, which is fine because I've been attacking the whole battle with for the most part, success here. You can see his skirmishers here in the trees. They're attempting to fall back a little bit. I'm getting a few shots on them. And I'm just going to keep pressing forward, and I'm bringing my general over to this right flank because I might be able to use my general a little bit here. Of course, I don't want him to get shot, but just the presence of cavalry, if I can even put my opponent's troops into square, that's less fire they are taking or pouring into my men from the front. Less guns pointed my direction. So that's what I'm doing with my general here. And at this point, his skirmishers are getting pretty close to routing. And my general's about to charge in here. I was determining whether or not I wanted to actually do it. And here we go. And I believe he is going to put his men into square, which means I'm going to pull my general out. His skirmishers just routed, and now his men here are in square, and you can see now they've got very minimal troops actually pushing forward. So since they went into square, I'm using this as a chance to push even closer and get more fire into them. Over here I have to shuffle my lines again. He moved down off the hill and took out one of my sharpshooter units. So now it is just my line infantry versus what is left of his. Of course, once again, I still do have the lifeguards, and we just managed to rout another line infantry unit there. And key factor being I still have my general. And once again, I'm just going to keep moving forward. Of course, he's got the more fresh unit here, but for the most part, my troops are in pretty good strength, and just having more units is actually going to help me here, even though I'm moving in. And right here, it's fine for me to move forward. I'm moving through the trees, which helps me a little bit. He's going to pull back and try to bring me out of the trees there. Reestablish his flank. I believe this unit here of line infantry is going to end up coming back from routing. I've still got my general threatening that flank as well. You can see once again, I'm going to keep pushing forward through the trees here. And I will say the one thing I enjoy a lot about the Napoleon Total War battles is I might have been able to finish around 2 Rome Total War battles if they were quick ones by now. I actually do like that these battles last longer. It makes it more interesting. This battle, you don't get battles in Rome that really change this much. It started from over here and has worked its way all the way to the point where I've wrapped around, and we've almost flipped positions. And here you can see the final wrapping up of my opponent taking place. I've kind of got a little angle here so that all of my fire is directed right in on this line infantry unit. They're going to start dropping quickly, and they will not be able to hold under that fire, so they're going to rout. And now my units can start wrapping in on the flank of this line infantry unit. There's not a whole lot they can do, so he's going to pull them away, which is just trying to survive now. Good move on his part. My men are starting to run out of ammo, though. So this line infantry unit of mine is out of ammo. We're attaching bayonets and going in here on these Nasu Jaegers. And here comes my men for the charge. And these Jaegers are not going to stand a chance in melee against my line infantry. Once again, out of ammunition there. That's what that little box is. That guy getting very violently stabbed. This guy might actually escape. He's gonna make it. Nope, there he goes. Either way, most of my men are out of ammunition. He's put his troops into this house here. You can see them there. Good move. And I'm going to line up my troops that do have ammunition in the back here, and of course my lifeguards of foot and line infantry are going to charge in. And at this point, my opponent goes ahead and admits defeat. So there you can see the stats for that battle. He deployed close to 200 troops more than me, a little bit less than that. And you can see my enemies killed to losses were very similar. I killed barely more than I lost there. He definitely seems to have suffered from some friendly fire, around 100. Actually, yeah, about 100 losses from it. And so, yeah, very close battle. The thing that would have swung it more in my favor would definitely have been if I paid attention to cavalry a little bit better, because I could have easily taken out those cavalry units and had some of my line infantry, probably these guys down here, survive, which that little bit of numbers would have helped me quite a bit. But there's the statistics. Good game to my opponent. Hope you all enjoyed that, and I will bring more Napoleon Total War for you all soon. Hopefully get a little bit more used to controlling troops in this game again. But once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time with more.